Woohoo! Looky there. I found my own swarm. I was, I just put up that video about that little pocket swarm I ran over the lawnmower, and I don't think they're associated with this. But then I shut down the mower and I looked over above the apiary here, and just a lot of crazy flight activity going on. And I couldn't really figure out why. I didn't think it was a swarm. I thought it was just everybody coming out of the boxes. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning. Figured it was just about that time everybody comes pouring out to go to work. But no, there's definitely a swarm accumulating up there on that branch of that Chinese tallow. Let's see, it's of course it's right where I can't get to it. Perfect. But doggone it, I'm gonna have to do something about that, because that's the first of one of my own swarms that I've actually seen kick out and gather up on a limb. So I mean, come on, I gotta do something. Let me see what I can do and try to catch them. You see the cluster there is formed up on the branch. It's not a big swarm at all, maybe a pound or two, not much, but definitely a legit swarm piled up there on the limb. And you can see the fence right here. My beehives are right on the other side of the fence, so I'm standing in the corner of my neighbor's yard that backs up to the corner of my yard. So anyway, I've got my tarp laid out here for what it's worth, with a little bait hive sitting there. You see quite a few bees flying around that. It's actually the same box that I just had that little pocket swarm in. But I put a few drops of lemongrass oil in there, and I think I've got it centered up about the best I can. So now I'm going to try to throw a rope over this limb and see if I can shake them down, because I can't get up there with a ladder, unfortunately. Alright, so I got my rope over the limb. Only took me 2 shots, for those of you out there that, like JP, the bee man, and John Tucker, that couldn't hit a swarm if it was on the side of a barn. So only took me 2 shots here with the rope, and of course my special tool, which is just a rock that I found in the yard. But each time I, bumped the rope down a little bit, they knocked a few off, and they flew back up pretty quick. They're pretty flighty yet, since they haven't been there very long. And the first time I actually damn near hit the swarm with the rock, and they flew up pretty good, and I actually had 2 of them, or 1 of them, come and got me on the face. So they didn't like that. But anyway, got the box down here, and of course I have no idea whether or not I'm under the box, or under the swarm. So let me try to scoot my rope out just a little bit closer, and then we'll give them a shake. Alright, well, I think I gained about 6 inches. So without further ado, we're going to give them a 1, a 2, 3. Ah, close. We got a little cluster of them fell down there on the limb. We got a lot of them flying. Shake the heck out of it a little bit more. Sorry for the jumpy camera, but boy, you can sure see them flying now, huh? We're just going to keep shaking that limb, make them not want to settle on it, and hopefully want to settle down here instead. Like I said, I baited the hive with some lemongrass oil, but I'm not going to make y'all tolerate the jumpy camera while I shake. I'm just going to keep on shaking. I'm sure somebody's going to say it's beginner's luck, but by golly, I got the queen on the first shake, so that was really good luck. Gave him that good hard shake, and a bunch of bees fell down, and I saw a bunch of them start fanning. I mean, it wasn't but 100 of them that actually hit the tarp. And I saw them start fanning, so I picked up the lid, and I was looking real close on the lid they were on. Couldn't see her. And then I just saw about 10 or more bees kind of in a pile. A pile, not a pile. A pile on the tarp. Looked over, and there she was crawling around. So, well, there she is. She's in there somewhere. She's hiding up top. Y'all couldn't see her, but knock her down a little bit so you can see her. Anyway, she's in there. I'm going to mark her, put her in a release cage, and move them back into the yard where they belong. So I've got the queen put in there. Put her in a release cage just like I said I would. She's stuck right there between the 2 frames. And you can see these bees that are flying around. These are some of those originals that fell down when I did the first shake. And they're fanning real hard. They like this box. So I put that lemongrass in it, but they're already starting to prop up on the box and fan the entrance. I don't have this is actually one of my Nook boxes that doesn't have a legitimate entrance disc on it. I just grabbed the first box I saw this morning when I was trying to catch that little pocket swarm out of the yard. And yeah, so I'm going to have to leave the lid cocked open like this for them to move in for today, and then this afternoon or something I'll just swap them over into a better box. But anyway, I got to go because I let my neighbor's dog out. Alright, so we've still got a few that are trying to settle up there on the limb just because that's what they know and it still smells like the queen. But for the most part, you can already see I've shaken a lot more of them down here. And they're crawling around like crazy on that box, and you got a lot of them all flying around in and around behind the box that are already starting to come down from the limb. They're starting to orient to the box. So that's a really good sign. You can see them all starting to march in here. Just get in here close. Sorry, I cut off that last bit. Yeah, just get in here close, and you can see them marching like crazy. Happy, happy bees. So they're getting in there to get to their queen. This little nook box already has drawn combs in it because it's one that I harvested honey out of. So man, we're set up, we're good to go. This swarm's, they hit the jackpot as far as they're concerned. So probably what I'll do is give this limb a few more shakes. I'm going to leave all this set up here today and let them orient down to this box, and then maybe a little bit later today or later on this afternoon I might pick them up and I don't know, I'll move them to the feed store or something. But for right now, I got to call this off. I got to run down and actually do a little presentation for some folks about beekeeping. So this will give me a good story to say, you know what, I woke up this morning and caught a swarm. So glad I was home from work today and had the opportunity to get them. To give you all a little more perspective, here's my beehives, and there's the rope up into the tallow tree where the swarm was at. So yes, most definitely this was one of my swarms without a doubt. I watched them come out of the hives. I didn't see which hive they came out of because they were already all airborne, but I had my suspicions. I had a couple that had been bearding for a couple weeks now that were getting too big, and I kept forgetting to add a super to them. And I've also got one that had a bunch of emergency cells, and very well could be that some of those emergency queens hatched out and one of them kicked out with a swarm instead of messing around fighting. So I'm not really sure which hive it came out of, to be honest with you. I really don't care. I'll figure it out later. But I was going to say, it's a darn good thing I laid that tarp down, because I was working on top of a wood pile there, a pile of firewood, and had I not put that tarp down, that queen would have fell down between a couple pieces of firewood, and I guarantee I'd have never found her. So, darn good thing I did it. Just a little tip there, if you're ever working on, I would say with any sort of swarm, you're going to shake them out of a tree like this, make sure you lay down a bedcloth or a tarp or something that gives you a uniform surface to work on so you can really see where the bees go.